Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am so excited to have you here today because we are gearing up for an action-packed guide to reclaiming your reef tank. If you're a saltwater enthusiast, you already know that keeping a thriving aquarium is this delicate, beautiful art form. But, sometimes an uninvited guest breaches the walls of our carefully balanced ecosystems. So today, we're laying out the ultimate battle plan to defeat one of the most notorious pests in the entire hobby. Let's get right into it. So, what is hiding in your live rock? Picture this for a second. You've spent hours, weeks, maybe even years carefully curating your saltwater tank. The lighting is absolutely perfect, the corals are popping, the water chemistry is completely dialed in. And then you spot it. Just a tiny, weird little hitchhiker tucked away in a crevice. It's super stressful, right? Finding an uninvited guest disguising itself in your pristine environment is enough to send a shiver down literally any aquarist's spine.
All right, Section 1. Meet the glass-tipped invader.
We're talking about Aiptasia Anemones. These guys are small, incredibly fast-reproducing nuisance anemones. And they don't just magically appear out of thin air, either. They are sneaky. They hitchhike right into your reef aquarium, completely undetected, usually piggybacking on pieces of live rock or on the frag plugs of those expensive new corals you just brought home. They slip past your defenses simply by starting out incredibly small.
So you really need to know exactly what visual cues to look for to positively identify them. First, look for a conical or tube-like base embedded down into the rock or the sand. Extending from that base, you'll see short, pointed tentacles. They're often translucent or light-colored, and they kind of seem to bubble up and stretch upward when the water flow hits them. But here's the real telltale sign: their evasive behavior. If you disturb them, they rapidly retract deep into the rockwork, only to pop right back out once the area settles down. Oh, and if you see localized coral stress, like maybe a coral just isn't opening up right next to a certain rock, look closely. You might just find an Aiptasia lurking right there.
Moving on to Section 2. Why Aiptasia spells trouble.
At first glance, Aiptasia maintains this really delicate, harmless appearance. It's got these translucent, almost pretty glass tips, and it just seems like a tiny, innocent little hitchhiker. But beneath that disguise is a highly dangerous reality. This isn't just a harmless addition to your ecosystem. Aiptasia actually releases potent stinging cells that directly attack and stress your prized corals. On top of that, they reproduce rapidly by dividing and releasing reproductive material. Before you even realize what's happening, they're actively overtaking the exact spaces and crevices in the live rock where your corals need stable, clean room to grow.
Because of all that, early detection is absolutely crucial. Do not wait on this. Overtaking those vital crevices in your live rock happens unbelievably fast. Like, infestations can explode literally between your routine tank checks. You've got to treat even the small patches immediately because that is the only way to win. Removal works best, and honestly, it's just significantly easier when the population is still really limited.
Okay, Section 3. Tactical removal strategies.
Okay, let's dive into this. We basically have 4 escalating weapons at our disposal here. Method 1 is manual removal, which is really best when you just have a small number of pests with easily accessible bases. Method 2 is targeted injection, ideal for preventing regrowth using dedicated spot treatments. Moving up the ladder, Method 3 is a chemical or biological approach, which is great for broader control across the tank. And finally, Method 4 is the capture and cover technique, your go-to for stubborn rockwork and deep caves. By looking at these 4 options, you can instantly diagnose which method fits the specific terrain of your own tank. Let's unpack Methods 1 and 2 first. These are our targeted strikes. For manual removal, you'd use a pair of long tweezers or a small rigid tool to carefully break up or lift the anemone, making sure to get as much of that anchoring tissue as possible. But actually, big warning here, you have to be incredibly cautious. If you clumsily tear the Aiptasia, you're going to spread tiny fragments into the water column, and every single one of those fragments can spawn a brand new anemone. That's exactly why a lot of aquarists prefer Method 2, injecting commercial spot treatments directly into the base of the anemone. Dosing this precisely helps completely destroy the tissue and stops regrowth, all while keeping the stress on your other corals totally minimized.
But what if the invasion is larger, or they're hiding deep in the rocks? That brings us to Methods 3 and 4, escalated warfare. For broader issues, you might introduce known Aiptasia biological predators or use specialized chemical pastes. But keep in mind, predators might totally miss the ones hiding deep inside the rockwork. That's when you have to deploy Method 4, capture and cover. For those really stubborn pests tucked away in caves, you might actually need to temporarily rearrange your rockwork or use physical barriers to expose the hidden base before treating it. Doing this vastly improves your success rate without having to resort to heavily dosing your entire tank with chemicals.
And finally, Section 4, securing the fortress with aftercare and prevention.
I cannot stress this warning enough, guys. Aiptasia control takes multiple passes. The battle is almost never won in a single day. You might treat an area, see the pest completely disappear, and think you're victorious, but vigilant observation is absolutely required. Regrowth can quickly pop back up in the days following a treatment if even a microscopic fragment of that anemone broke off and survived. You really have to watch those treated areas like a hawk.
To keep your tank secure for the long haul, you need to follow this 4-step defense protocol. Step 1. Stop them at the gate. Meticulously inspect and quarantine any new live rock and frag plugs before they ever touch your main display. Step 2, as we just mentioned, observe your treated areas closely for days to catch any stragglers. Now, steps 3 and 4 are all about the tank environment. Improve the water flow around your rock surfaces and maintain highly stable water quality. By creating these pristine conditions, you're building an environment that is deeply hostile to nuisance outbreaks, but absolutely fantastic for your corals to thrive in.
To wrap things up, our source material hits the nail on the head with this core battle plan summary. Identify by their upright, glassy tentacles and anchored base. Remove early. Use targeted treatment methods to minimize spread, and plan for follow-up checks. Keep that checklist in the back of your mind. It really is your ultimate guide for maintaining a pristine, pest-free reef.
So I want to leave you with this final, proactive question to think about today. Based on your specific tank size, the unique livestock you keep, and where these pests might be hiding, which tactical method are you going to deploy first to secure your reef? Evaluate your setup, pick your weapon from the strategies we covered, and take some confident, immediate action. Thanks so much for joining me in this explainer. Now go reclaim your tank.